few months, there were revelations about the famed birth certificate, which was posted on government sites of President Barack Obama. His own lawyer admitted that the image of that birth certificate was a fraud. So my question to you is Barack Obama actually a Bush?
I don't think there's much difference. He's fairly empty, he's nasty, but he's not really in control. I mean, we have to understand, and when you get to this point, you've got to say, no, really, who is really running the show? And it's not Barack Obama. Barack Obama is only a stooge put in by the British monarchy. That's all he is. He's got a nasty disposition. As you know, snakes have nasty dispositions. All kinds of creatures have nasty dispositions. But the fact is, who controls him? The control lies with, obviously, the equivalent of the Roman Empire today, and that is the Anglo-Dutch Empire. And the Holland, the Netherlands, and the British are one in the same thing. It's the same empire. Even nominally, it represents about 40% of the whole world system. So you're dealing with an empire like the Roman Empire in the form of the Anglo-Dutch system. And the Dutch are probably more vicious than the British, in point of fact. At least they are on record. After all, they started the whole thing. The British came along later. They were just English at that point. But when the Dutch sent their troops into Britain, everything was changed. And the Dutch fascists, really what they were and are, took over the British Empire. And so you have a Queen of England who is actually controlled, in fact, on behalf of this Anglo-Dutch organization, which invaded England, conducted the purge, the bloodshed against the Irish. Same thing, same crowd. So what we're dealing with the fact that evil in the tradition of the Roman Empire and similar things, actions of that type, has taken over domination of the world. It's been able to do so because the United States, which was always being persecuted by the empire forces, we kept fighting back. But we continued to find, we had presidents who were shameless creatures, animals more than men, for example, and that has persisted. Now the time has come since this, and also on top of everything else, what have we got? These openly by the Queen of England and also her Dutch colleagues. The intention is to reduce the population of the world rapidly from 7 billion people to less than 1 billion people. That operation is presently underway. It's been advertised publicly and widely by Her Majesty and others. It's stated in every possible way you want to see in terms of Europe, in terms of policy, and especially in terms of policy of practice. This thing is the enemy of the human species. And there has to be a process of clean-out in which the power that these people have held is taken away from them. We're pointing to the crimes they have committed and they have intended to commit, which they have admitted to intending to commit against humanity. And therefore, we have the obligation of recognizing this, and while we have the ability to do so, to mobilize the citizens of this nation and other nations to eradicate this fungus from humanity.